and welcome to another DD Mitten video. Today I'm going to give you a quick overview on what you should and shouldn't be feeding your red-eared slider turtle. Now, if you've just purchased a juvenile or a baby red-eared slider, you are going to want their diet to be half and half, which will be half protein, half vegetables. Now, when I say that, I do recommend that you should always have vegetables available to your turtle. So whichever vegetables you choose to give them, always have them in the tank at all times. If they're not eating them and they get slimy, remove those ones and replace them with fresh ones. Just make it always a constant availability for your turtle. And by 50-50, I mean the diet needs to be 50% protein based and 50% vegetable. Now, the way I would do that is I would just feed a juvenile turtle more than I would an adult one. Now, with an adult red-eared slider turtle, it's 25-75. So how I work that out is every 2 to 3 days I will give my turtle something protein based, normally the size of their head, not including their neck. So it'll be the size of their head. That's the portion I will give them on a protein based food, whether it be reptile pellets or a treat, which I will go into later. With the juvenile turtle, I will probably do that maybe every day or every other day. So let's get to the veggies part. The veggies that I recommend for your turtle and what I feed mine on convenience and availability is I always go for red leaf lettuce. Now, red leaf lettuce looks like this because this is red leaf lettuce, and as you can see, I've had this out of the fridge for a while, so it's getting a little sloppy. But red leaf lettuce has the little red, the very dark leafy ends, and it's a very dark leafy green. Now, what I like about red leaf lettuce is it's very high in nutritious value, and the phosphorus to calcium ratio is about where you want it to be, which is 2 to 1, which will be 2 calcium to 1 phosphorus. I am going to do a separate video about calcium and phosphorus and vitamin D and oxalates and how it's all intertwined, but that will have to be a separate video because if I went into detail here, it would be a long video. So just for the overview, I always use the red leaf lettuce because it's high in nutritious content and low in oxalates. Now, if you go to a grocery store and they don't have the red leaf lettuce, which has happened to me on a few occasions, I have a backup plan, and that is to purchase green leaf lettuce. Now, green leaf lettuce is not to be confused with romaine because they are slightly similar. Romaine lettuce is a very long head of lettuce and it's not as leafy, and the green leaf lettuce is a very stout leaf, very comparable to the red leaf lettuce, as you can see here. So green leaf lettuce is not as nutritious as the red leaf, but it's a good backup in case you don't have it. Now, there is nothing wrong with giving your turtle romaine or iceberg on the odd occasion. It doesn't have any nutrition for the turtle, but it doesn't harm them either. So as a treat or the occasional emergency, you have to give them that for a snack. It's fine, but don't have that as a major staple in their diet. Now, as I said, I purchased these types of lettuce for convenience and price. But there is another reason why I don't normally go for the turnip greens. I have bought the turnip greens before, which are also a very, very good nutritious green for your turtle. It's just they go incredibly slimy really quickly. Now, it's good if your turtle's going to snap them up and eat them that day, but I find that even within a couple of hours, they do start to go slimy and nasty. So I tend to steer clear for the turnip greens. Dandelion leaves are also a very, very good wild edible to give to your turtle, as long as you make sure you pick them in a place where there's no pesticides and chemicals and things like that. I cannot get my turtle to eat dandelions. He will not eat them. He will not do it. No matter what I do, I could coat them in shrimp juice, he won't touch them. But you could try them with your turtle to see if you have better luck than I have. They are extremely nutritious. I do from time to time still try to get him to eat them to no avail, but I will continue to do so. Another good leafy green to give your turtle is in fact anacaris plants or water plants that are edible for turtles. The thing is with those is they are expensive, and a turtle, if I threw this in my turtle tank, he would eat the whole thing probably within 48 hours. So a little skinny anacaris plant that you might pay $10 for at Petco or something isn't going to last very long. That's why I tend to stick to the lettuces. Now, for the protein-based foods, I do feed him the reptile sticks occasionally. These are a good staple for your turtle. These ones have calcium and vitamin C infused in them. I give these to my turtle every 3 to 4 days. Like I said, he's an adult turtle, so I give him a portion the size of his head, excluding his neck, and he gets those every 3 to 4 days. But I try not to overfeed them because these have a lot of protein in them, and the thing is with protein is if you give them too much protein, their shell could start to pyramid, the protein could damage their liver, and it could cause a whole host of problems. So you really want to watch their protein levels and not overfeed them. So that does bring me to his treats, which are another source of protein for him. In other videos I've mentioned that I do give him the turtle chasers and the little gourmet turtle snacks for a medley of different things, and I do like to give him the Fluker's river shrimp. Fluker's also do mealworms and a host of other moist insects and nasties in a little can for your turtle. Mine likes the river shrimp. He also likes the mealworms and stuff, but this is his favourite. This will be a treat that I will give him 1 to 2 times a week. I don't normally exclude the reptile pellets when I give him this. I will just give him a little less than usual just to not give him too much protein. But some of these pots come with a spoon. This one doesn't, so I just give him maybe a teaspoon's worth amount every 1 to 2 times a week. And he loves them. I normally give him a turtle chaser twice a week, and this one has the clam. They also do a shrimp version, but as I said, you do have to be careful with the protein levels, so I give him one of those. And you can get a lot of dried insects for your turtle. I like to give Mr. Turtle freeze-dried crickets, but I'm out of those at the moment. I will show you those. But this little medley has a lot of freeze-dried animals in them. It has mealworms and shrimp and a whole host of goodies in there for him as a nice treat. Again, it's something that I will give him once a week. If I do have all these available, once a week he'll get maybe on a Monday, on a Thursday and a Sunday. Just for an example, that's what he'll get. And also getting these every 3 or 4 days. Now that makes me want to move on to calcium and D3. I'm going to touch upon this real quick in this video because it's incredibly important. Your turtle needs calcium. If he doesn't get calcium, he will get metabolic bone disease and he will eventually die. That is the truth. That's what will happen. So you need to make sure he gets his calcium. Now there are several ways to do this. My 2 ways of choice are with a calcium powder, which, let me show you what this looks like inside. This is by Fluker's. It's, as you can see there, it's just a powder, and I will get his treats. Sometimes his river shrimp, I will sprinkle a bit on top and mix it in, or with the freeze-dried insects, I will dip them in, move them around so it gets all the little cracks and gross parts of the insect and throw it in, and he'll eat that. And I will also, actually I think this one also has D3, which I will touch upon. This has D3 in it. Now the thing is, when you give your turtle calcium, he needs D3 to absorb it. Now reptiles are very similar to humans in a sense that they have trouble absorbing vitamin D3. And we need the sun to do so. Humans do as well as turtles. That's why he needs his UVB light. Now, he has his heat lamp for basking to regulate his body temperature, but he also needs a good, he also needs his very good quality UVB light. He needs those rays. Without those, his body will not metabolize his calcium. So that's incredibly important. That's just as important as the calcium. Now, this has the supplement, which is good because he will absorb a little bit, but like I said, he needs the light. And another way I have him absorb his calcium is with a calcibone treat. You can use the cuttlebone in the bird section, or this is really cheap. This is like $2 from Petco. It's a calcium bone or a cuttlebone that I just leave floating in the tank. I don't think you can see it. It's back there. I don't know if you can see it. It's floating around. He will take bites as he pleases when he feels he needs calcium. Now turtles are very intelligent in knowing what their body needs. So when he feels like he needs calcium, he will seek it out. So although I do kind of, I guess, force feed him in some ways by dipping his insect treats in the powder, this is always available. When he feels like he needs the calcium, he will take bites out of the cuttlebone. Now also, you can use boiled eggshell as a source of calcium. So if you boil an egg and you crumble up a little eggshell, you can pop that in there, he will bite that also. And you can also use crushed oyster shell. Those are also a good source of calcium for them. Now, that's why I said about the oxalates and the phosphorus levels in greens. If you feed them too much spinach, for example, which has high oxalates, it will inhibit their calcium absorption. But I will be doing a separate video on that as well. So basically, to go over what I spoke about, Leafy greens are good for your turtle, aside from spinach. So for convenience, red leaf or green leaf lettuce is a good starter. Dandelion leaves or anacaris plants, if you can get your turtle to eat them and they're not too expensive to obtain. I would avoid spinach, like I said, for the oxalates and high phosphorus levels. I would avoid iceberg or romaine because of the lack of nutrition in them. But try to keep your protein levels in balance with their vegetables. Like I said, 50-50 for a juvenile and 25% protein and 75% vegetables for an adult. Do make sure you have that UVB light and your heat lamp for your turtle. They need the heat to regulate their body temperature and keep their metabolism in check, and they need that UVB light to absorb their D3, to absorb their calcium. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I will be doing more in-depth videos on calcium, phosphorus, D3 and oxalates and how they relate to each other, and iodine also. And I will do a separate video on metabolic bone disease and the causes and prevention and signs and symptoms. And I'm also going to do a video on what too much protein can do to your turtle also. So if you have any questions about what I've touched upon today, please leave me a comment down below, because I do try my best to get back to everybody I can. And yeah, I hope you and your turtle are all doing well and you're both happy and healthy. I will speak to you guys soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.